Would you like an update on the 5 million projects I have on the go? Do you want to hear a PSA about my body? You want to find out why I'm holding up this very large binder? And then stick around. Hello, and welcome to Killer Kitsch Lizzie, my weird little world where I like to knit and sew, do other crafty things, talk about upcoming crazy projects, and at some point during this video there's going to be a PSA. Wait for it! Anyway, I hope everyone's doing amazing. I'm going to do this up front because I always forget at the end of the video. Please like, subscribe, comment below, and share this video with all your friends. Anyway, yeah, I just thought it was time to do an update video. I mean, I've been doing them sporadically, but I feel like I haven't done an update for a while on a few things. Part of what I want to do is an update on my makes, which the update is I have not gotten very far on some of them. There's a reason. I'm not going to get into details about it, but my father passed away recently, and when that happened, things kind of went astray because, you know, they don't live near me, so we went to where my family lives, spent time up there, and then I just kind of lost my mojo for a while for knitting and sewing and all that stuff, and it's back. You know, just part of the grieving process. I wasn't feeling motivated to do stuff, but I am back to feeling motivated again and inspired and ready to get into finishing these projects, as well as I have a massive project I'm going to talk about in this video, and it may or may not have something to do with the massive binder I held up at the beginning of the video. So there. So first I'm going to just talk about where I am with a bunch of my makes, because I have several on the go. As I always do, I don't ever just have one thing going. I have several things going. So just to warn you ahead of time, they're all over here. So I'm going to have to lean out of shot every once in a while just to grab some of them. And you might hear some rustling because I keep all of my projects, I'll show you in a second, in gallon size Ziploc bags. It just keeps everything together. All my materials in there, pattern pieces, instructions, notes, I just keep them, the toiles, I keep them all in one bag. And when I've sewn that project, I still keep everything else in that bag. So when I go to, if I want to make that project again, when I go to get it, I can pull it out and everything's in there, like the pattern pieces, everything. All my notes I've written. So that's just my handy way of sort of keeping track of stuff. So I'm going to start with knitting and then work my way to sewing. There's more sewing things than there are knitting things, sort of. Recently, the one thing I did finish was because it was was on a timeline to get it done, so I did finish that, and then after that I kind of like lost my mojo for knitting, so I am back to it because I need to finish off two big knitting well, one's big and one's not. And I have another one that I need to get started because there's going to be a video about it in the near future. So the biggest of the two knitting projects is the Ska Cardigan that I'm making my husband. I had the back about 80% done, and I ripped it back because, so I started doing a target and I got lazy. So I started doing Fair Isle style knitting with it, and after I started going back to intarsia for the top part, I have the thing here. The top part has very few bits to it, right? So it was easier to go back to intarsia, and then when I lifted it up after a while, you could see the difference. Behind the white, you could see the difference between where I was doing Fair Isle, where I was doing intarsia. So I had to rip it all the way back down to, I think it was like the top of the legs, and then reknit it. So I'm now, I don't know, a little more than halfway again on the back. The front two pieces are going to be easier. One is just going to be the checkerboard, like a striped checkerboard like you would see on Ska shirts. And then the other side is going to be another version of him, but he's standing straight up and down, so it is going to be a little easier to do the intarsia there. So you get back to that. But I think what I'm going to do though, before I actually do the two front panels for the cardigan, is I am going to do the sleeves first. And the reason for that is a lot of us, not all of us, but a lot of us get stuck on Sleeve Island, and I am one of those people. I actually dread doing the sleeves, even short sleeves, and in my mind I'm like, this is taking way longer than knitting the back piece or the front piece. I knit two sleeves at the same time. The reason I do that is I want to make sure that the length is both sides is like even, because there's been times where I've knit one and then knit the other one's slightly shorter, or the armholes off a bit, and if you knit both at the same time, you're not going to run into that problem. So yes, so that is progressing very slowly, but I'm going to get back to that shortly. Yeah, I even knit in the summertime because we have a window air conditioner unit at the front of our place, and I sit in front of that when I'm knitting. The other thing I'm doing, which should have been done already, should have been done a long time ago actually, like a really long time ago, is I'm knitting Tara Dayton's Sinead Ballerina wrap cardigan. Both of the front pieces are done. They've been done for a really long time. I just need to do the sleeves in the back. And this knit up really fast. But then I decided I was going to knit my husband's Ska cardigan, and then this got set aside. And then I was going to pick it up again, and then I knit the 3-hour sweater, the 3-hour sweater, which I'll link to that. By the way, that video is doing really well. I'm very happy with that. Anyway, set it aside again. I just need to finish this because, you know, fall's going to be here sooner than we can even blink. And this is going to be perfect for the fall. Also, I want to do a black one. I want to get this done. Yeah, I'm whining. Okay. I'm just putting things over here because it's just easier. So I have to go off camera slightly here just to reach for bits and hopefully I don't knock my phone on the floor. Okay, so the next update, which is actually progress from the last time I talked about this, is the Peggy Bodice dress. I have done, so with this one I did 2 toiles because the first one was ever so slightly too tight across my back. And I went up one size. Oh, and I had to do a couple of minor changes. Well, minor for me, but maybe not for everyone. But so I'm just gonna get the fabric out here. Bear with me. There we go. The neck was way too tight. I had to scoop out a couple of inches, I think. Because the neck was coming up here. I absolutely cannot stand anything tight on my neck. I will constantly be pulling at it, or I just feel like I'm kind of choking a bit. It could just be the way that my neck bones are or whatever. So I did have to scoop out, I'm gonna say 2 inches. That I had to do, and I think that was it actually. I don't think I had to do any other changes. It was just the back was too tight and the neck. So I did a second toile and it fits perfectly. So I have cut out the fabric. Everything's cut out. All I need to do is serge and sew it together, and then it's done. But again, things got astray because of life, but that's ready to sew up. Unfortunately, it's going to have to wait for a little bit because I have another thing that I've started, which I'll talk about shortly. It's not amongst the makes. Well, it is sort of, but not these. Okay, so the next thing, and for me is bigger progress because I've actually gotten somewhere. Again, just trying to make sure my phone doesn't fall on the ground. There we go. Pants. Pants. I decided to make, where are you? A pair of culottes instead of full pants. And let's get stuff out before we talk. Very easy to sew culottes. It's from Sew Easy, so SOSEW Easy. And you have the option of putting pockets. I don't know if I'm going to. I think I'm just going to do, for now, just straight culottes and the waistband, like just the pants and the waistband. This is, I've had this pattern for like a million years. I will try to link to it. It's a free pattern. I will try to link to it if I can find it. And the measurements are very generous. So as an example, size 20, lower hips 42 inches, hips 62 inches, and the hem width, like around the bottom of the leg, is 74 inches. So, you know, they go out. They're not tight-legged culottes. They're actually the wide leg culottes. So yeah, I have cut out the toile. I've done a whole bunch of measurements. In the actual pattern itself, because I measured my rise and my crotch and all that, I have already made the adjustments in the pattern, and I made the adjustments on I'm not going to open these up because it's a whole bunch of pattern pieces, but this is the toile, and so the adjustments are already made onto the toile fabric. So I'm hoping I got those adjustments right. If not, I'm happy to do a second one because it'll be less adjusting than the 1940s pants or 1945 pants that I made that I still haven't fixed. So I decided to make that adjustment immediately. I did, like, my measurements, I think I measured like 4 or 5 times. You know, my dad used to say, measure twice, cut once, right? So he wasn't wrong. I do that with everything I make. Before I cut anything out, I make sure I measure it a few times. Not 20 times, but like at least 2, maybe 3 times to make sure my measurements are going to match up with the pattern pieces. And I'll also take it, and if I've made something similar, I'll compare it. Like I'll put the pattern pieces on top of either the pattern pieces from the previous garment, or I'll actually like put them on top of the finished garment to see what the difference is. Save yourself some heartache. Okay, so the last sewing thing that I'm going to talk about, well, last sewing make that I've been put aside for now that I'm going to talk about, because there's more sewing talk coming, is I bought the Subversive Femme Maxine Blouse. It is one of her newer patterns. Very new, I think. And it is from the 1950s. There are 3 versions of the blouse. I'm gonna pop up photos for everything, because you're probably not gonna see this very well, and when I come close, it just makes it blurry. But there is a sleeveless with pockets and button down from the neck down with a collar. There is a sleeveless where the buttons are down here, and it's a stand-up collar. And then the third version is with sleeves that have cuffs. The same front where the buttons start here, and then a bigger collar. And you can interchange the sleeves and the collars with all three styles. I have cut out the middle one, sleeveless with the stand-up collar. So the toile is cut out, and I looked at the instructions, super, super easy, even faster because you're not trying to inset a sleeve. That is all cut out and ready to go. I already graded up. Actually, it's a 38 bust. I did grade up to, well, I'm a 42 bust, so. Okay, so those are the things that have been sitting in my to sew pile. I know, crazy. And a thing that I recently arrived that I would like to show you, as everything falls off my table. This book. It is Gertie's latest. I don't think I've talked about it on a video yet. If I have, I apologize. I know I talked about it over on Instagram, or did I? Am I having a deja vu? Anyway, I've been reading this, the history about her studio and her inspiration and all that. Love it. I love it, love it, love it. She's amazing. There are 3 really cool patterns in here, and yeah, I feel like I've talked about this on camera already. I'm sorry. I apologize if I did, but I want to make this one. That's the first thing I'm going to make out of this book when I get there. I have to finish this stuff first, and what I'm about to talk about. But before I talk about the binder, I just want to do a PSA about my body, about other women's bodies, about just other people's bodies in general. Don't fat shame people. I have been now experiencing this on my channel where I'm getting comments where I am being fat shamed. I've had a whole bunch of different troll things going on as well. Now, I don't get upset by it. I actually see what they're doing, and then I'll just like delete the comment, you know, block them from my channel, right? And I do know even if I block them, they can come back through with another account. That's fine. I will continue to delete their comments. We live in a world where there are different shapes, sizes. People have different things going on with their body. People are different weights. People are tall, they're thin. And when you do that to me, when you start to do things like fat shame me or tell me if you went and lost a lot of weight, you'd look better in your clothes, or maybe you need to walk 20,000 steps a day so that you can fit into your clothes better and you won't have to worry about adjusting things, or you're fat. It actually spawns me on to talk more about my curves, to show more of my curves, to continue to make clothes to fit my curves. I'm curvilicious. Now, I used to be slender. I used to be very, very slender once upon a time. Then perimenopause hit and menopause hit. And when those things happen to women, our bodies go through drastic changes. Hormones change. Metabolisms basically come to a halt. And yeah, so because of that, I am going to be more aware of showing myself more, because that is one thing that I'm really bad at. I forget to show myself, not forget, I just don't show myself enough in the things I've made, and I don't show my body off enough. You know what? I have boobs. I have the bat wing that everyone gets as you get older, right? I get gray hair. I have wrinkles. I have a belly. I have a butt. I have hips. And so do a lot of other people. And when you fat shame somebody, the only person that looks bad is you. Doesn't make me look bad. As a matter of fact, I've had women cheer me on. Not just women, men. I've had other people cheer me on when they've seen comments fat shaming me. They've come to my, they've come to me and they've said, "You look amazing." Who cares what they think? You know what? Don't care what they think. Love yourself, love your body. Show off that body, show off those curves, because I know going forward, I'm going to be doing that more. Don't fat shame people, because sometimes you bring out the warriors in them. Okay, that's my PSA. I just felt that I had to say something. A lot of YouTube, curvilicious YouTubers are going through it, and it's not right. Don't do it anymore. Don't fat shame. Okay, on to the binder. This big binder. You wonder what's in it? This massive project I'm working on right now. And it's Haslam. That's right. I know I should have been doing more Haslam since my last Haslam series. I just was trying other things out, and finally decided it was time to actually do another. I was going to do a Haslam outfit, but then I thought, why not do a huge whole thing? So it is going to run over, I don't know the exact day when it's going to launch yet. Stay tuned. I'll do a shorter a post here, but I'll also do an announcement over on YouTube. Over on Instagram. What it is going to be is how to build a capsule wardrobe using the Haslam system of dress cutting, right? It's going to be summer based, and in my case, it is going to be tiki themed. So you don't have to do tiki themed, especially if you're going to follow along and do this. You don't have to do tiki themed. You could just do a basic summer capsule wardrobe with this, because each video is going to show you how to draft one of the pattern pieces in the capsule wardrobe. Now, the only thing, just a heads up, is I still don't have an original template, so I can't give this to you or the pattern for free. I have some original Haslam books, but none of them actually had the pieces in it that I wanted to do this project. Also, you don't have to do these pieces. This is just sort of a guide for you to help you build that wardrobe. So what I'm doing for my capsule wardrobe is I'm going to be doing a dress. I like a sundress. I'm going to be doing a bolero. Here's a sneak peek. On Bunty. This is just a toile. It's not lined or anything. I'm going to be doing a top, a tie front skirt, and shorts. I think that was, and shorts. Yes, shorts. I'm making shorts for myself. I've not worn shorts since my 20s, and I'm almost 58 now. It's been more than 30 years, I think, since I've actually worn shorts. I've worn like knee-length capris, stuff like that. But yeah, I don't own any shorts, and I think that it's time. It's time I made myself some shorts. Also, it's a gateway to pants because shorts do take up less material, and though I am doing the culottes, but I think to make better fitting pants, I'm gonna, work through shorts so that I can do long trousers, um, and whatnot. I'm gonna use that as a block. The shorts are gonna be a block to use as a basis for all the pants I make going forward. So there's that. What you're going to need if you're going to be following along is you're going to need, now, hopefully you already have all this stuff, but you're going to need your rulers, and you're going to need your foundation. Now, for the shorts, you don't actually need the bottom, because the foundation, there's instructions to do a bodice, but then there's instructions to do a full dress thing, which I am going to do that in the future. I haven't done it yet. Instructions for that, but you don't need it to do the shorts. The shorts is more based on some of your, like your waist and your hip measurements, so you'll be okay for that. And then I'll do also very detailed blog posts to go with each garment over on Patreon, which, by the way, is always free. I did have a paid Patreon for a while, but I did stop doing that for now. At some point in the down in the future, I'm going to revisit the Patreon again, like the paid subscription service. But for now, I'm putting everything over there for free. I mean, whatever they're free now is going to remain free. I'm not going to screw you over or anything like that. But yeah, no, I was for the 3-hour sweater, I did put a PDF up there, a free PDF, just so it was easier for people to access if they read the post. And somebody told me, got angry with me saying, why are you putting a free thing up there when it's paid? I did explain to them it's free. Maybe they just didn't understand how Patreon works, so I mean, it happens, right? But anyway, for my capsule wardrobe, I've shown this fabric a few times. My friend Lori has gifted this to me last year for my birthday. And so out of this, I've gotten a sundress. I'm hoping I've already cut it out. The sundress has already been cut out. I'm going to hopefully sew that after I'm done this video. I know I'll get the bolero out of this as well. And I have lining fabric for the bolero in a like a beigey color. I'm going to line it with that. I don't know if I'm going to get the front. There is 3.5 yards, I think, left in here, if I remember correctly. Or 4.5. No, I think it's 3.5. I was hoping to get the tie front skirt. I don't know if I'm going to. But I also have this color, which I've done a second sundress in. Because I wanted a plain one as well. And the shorts will be coming out of this. And the top will be coming out of this for sure. I might need to go buy more fabric to do the tie front skirt. I'm not sure yet. And what I might do is, if I have to, I will likely get like a green, like a darker green, or maybe a teal or something if I have to do the tie front skirt. And in that case, what I'll do is I'll buy enough to do that and the shorts. So I'm kind of mixing and matching colors. We'll see. Might get enough out of here, you don't know. Fingers crossed. Anyway, that is my update. Sort of update. I need to get these things done. I need to get them done so I can actually show you them finished. My PSA, and talk about my upcoming big project. So the next video you're going to see after this one should be the very first video from the new Haslam series. So yes, I've been thinking about it for so long, and I have so many notes for that thing. I have pages of notes and scribbles and drawings, and I've been planning it for a while. So hopefully you will come along for that ride and create a capsule wardrobe as well. So and now I'm going to remember to do this, but if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Comment below your thoughts on everything I talked about. Subscribe. Tell all your friends about my amazing channel. And until next time, stay kitschy. Bye!